CT scans are examinations that we perform very frequently as radiologists, usually in hospitals, and we use them to get a better view of the inside of the body. For many CT scans, we inject contrast medium, and the purpose of this contrast medium is to enhance the body organs and, for example, also the blood vessels. It allows us to, let's say, interpret the images in a more accurate way.
About 300 million CT scans are done per year, and out of which about 60% requires contrast media. Now, the contrast CT scan itself is unsafe and uncomfortable to the patient. In terms of the environmental footprint, each one of these contrast CT scans requires a significant amount of consumables, such as the needle, the tubing. All of these need to be disposed of as a clinical waste. In addition, CT scans, particularly in the contrast CT, generates significant use of energy consumption. So a landmark paper in Lancet Regional Health last year had described the carbon footprint of each CT scan to be about 9.2 kilos. And that itself is just the carbon footprint of CT imaging, but there's additional element of the iodinated contrast when released into the wastewater actually constitutes the #1 pharmaceutical waste generated from the hospital healthcare delivery. During the NetZeroAICT project, we proposed to establish the largest data repository of CT scans to further drive the data science to optimize what we call CT digital contrast. And CT digital contrast proposes to negate the requirement of contrast injection for CT scans.
Artificial intelligence will enhance the organs and also the blood vessels in a virtual way, because we don't inject any contrast medium, but the effect should be the same. And that would be a major advantage for the patients, of course.
Well, today there is almost an infinite amount of expertise and data in healthcare, but the problem is that it's often locked into silos. And in order to advance care, more collaboration is needed. For us, it was very important to have a centralized data repository in order to ensure the highest data quality and the long-term sustainability.
Modern clinical research requires both access and curation of data. And to maximize the volume and the quality of the data, NetZeroAICT collects data from clinical partners in 3 different continents, all in a compliant framework.
By gathering all the data and expertise on one platform, we will build an ecosystem that will live for many years to come.
This project will run for 4 years. In the first 12 months, we focus on establishing the data repository and establishing the trustworthiness framework. In the next 2 years, we focus on optimizing the AI algorithms, followed by the clinical validation of 5 indications for users. In parallel, we're going to systematically examine the social and life cycle impact of delivering CT digital contrast and build a green and sustainable computational pipeline to enable long-term operation of other projects.
The trustworthiness of this project is built upon 3 pillars: the pillar of lawfulness, the pillar of public participation, and the pillar of ethics. It all starts with ethics. The project needs to be robust, safe, transparent, and has to have respect for the privacy of the data subjects.
Regarding the legal framework, one of the most important parts is protecting the privacy of the data subjects, and that should be done by design before the processing is conducted.
To ensure that this project is trustworthy, we are going to be engaging members of the public, patient representatives, in deep conversation about things like the level of accuracy required with the digital version of CT scans and a range of other questions. Crucially, members of the public are stakeholders, and we are inviting conversation to make sure this is done through co-design and co-production.
NetZeroAICT is built upon European challenges is the rise in chronic diseases and increasing pressures on healthcare systems on one hand, and the environmental challenges on the other hand. So where there are challenges, there are also opportunities, and here comes NetZero, which delivers a digital innovation to support the health systems, yet lowering the footprint of provision of the healthcare.
We really have an extraordinary team of people with a lot of expertise in all the facets that are involved in developing such an AI tool. We will not only take care of a high quality of the images or the data by which the algorithm is trained, but we will also think about the effect that it will have on the patient pathway.